Hello, welcome back. You might be thinking, wow, Roy sure has moved up in the world. He has a fancier setup, he has a mic stand, he has stuff. Well, not really, because you see my mic here, this is actually a camera stand. And all I did was just tape my microphone onto the camera stand, and honestly at any moment it might just fall over. Hello, and welcome to Weird Tabletop Games Part 2. I know you guys have been waiting for this for a little too long. So, if you haven't seen my first video on Weird Tabletop Games, please check that out first. I would appreciate it very much. And without any further ado, let's get started. Emperor's New Clothes. Emperor's New Clothes is a tabletop game created by Jonathan H. Liu and published by Game Salute and Hokke Games. The game is inspired by the tale of a vain emperor who exposes himself to his kingdom after being tricked into buying clothes that are visible to intelligent people. The only thing is, he actually bought no clothes and he's just walking around naked. So just take a look at the game's box and the cards and all the pieces. You can tell there's a lot of thought put into the design and it just looks breathtaking, amazing. The art on this is some of the best I've ever seen in a tabletop game. And as for how the rules work, let me actually grab a sheet of paper. I'm just going to explain it to you. So, as you can see here are the rules for Emperor's New Clothes, the tabletop game. And you can see they're kind of long, and but even then I'll still read them out to you guys because I think there's some pretty good rules. Alright, here we go. So anyways, did you guys know that this game was nominated for an award in 2013? Turnip 28. Turnip 28 is a war game created by Max Fitzgerald. Now the best way to describe this game is grim-dark, Napoleonic, vegetable warfare. Max Fitzgerald works as a concept artist, and one day, while on the train, he was doing a couple sketches in his sketchbook. He was interested in trying out a Napoleonic war game, but he also didn't want to bother with all the historically accurate buckles and straps on all the models, so he was sketching down a couple designs for something similar to that, but also different. However, one small little addition to his drawings allowed him to create something new.
I don't know where the root vegetable thing came from, but it just seemed to fit. So I sort of designed them so they're religious fanatics, trouncing through the mud, their helmets rusted shut, and then around them they've got sacred charms, tokens, and iconography of root vegetables.
Fitzgerald then published his drawings in a magazine, and as it turns out, people really like the idea of grim dark vegetable warfare. Now, as for how Turnip 28 works, it is honestly surprisingly easy to get into compared to most war games out there. Generic historical miniatures are honestly pretty cheap in terms of what you can get. Look at this! $50 Canadian for 60 guys. Well, cheap in terms of a war game. I think anywhere else, that much money for a couple plastic guys just isn't worth it, but this is war games we're talking about. In Turnip 28, you need at most 40 models in your army, so just slap on some brown paint, slap on some grime, and you're good to go. And because Turnip 28 is all about converting your guys, why not just buy a box of knights as well? And then mix their parts together with your Napoleonic soldiers. And actually, while you're at it, why don't you go down to your local Home Depot or Walmart and then pick up some plant seeds or vegetable seeds and glue those onto your models, replacing their heads, because this, my friend, is grim dark vegetable warfare. And some people even take the effort to sculpt on some rotting vegetable heads on their guys. And man, honestly, anything goes as long as it's grimdark, vegetable themed, and Napoleonic. These guys are so gritty, and they're so drenched in mud and maggots that so much of the mud gets into their guns that they can barely shoot with them. Think of an average war game, like say Bolt Action, Warhammer 40k, whatever floats your boat. In these games, you usually hit on 3 or 4, which is kind of like average, okay, good chances, good odds. However, not in Turnip 28. In Turnip 28, everything hits on a 5 because their guns are so clogged it's almost impossible to shoot with them. Now, hitting on a 5, that is a 33% chance of hitting your targets. And sure, there are a couple buffs here and there, but your guys just aren't great at shooting overall. Nuke Norway now! Nuke Norway Now is a war game created in 2008 by Peter Stenberg about a fictional war between Sweden and Norway. The game involves a lot of nukes, steamrollers, and zombies. Now, I'll be honest, it was a little bit hard to find information about how the game's actually played, and I have a good feeling it's because the game's been abandoned for quite a while. I see a lot of people online say the main source of info about how the game works, how it's played, was the creator's website, which sadly now leads to a 404 page. Hello, it's future me editing this video at school, which is why I have all these things behind me. But anyways, so I went back on Peter's website to get screenshots of the 404 page, and then I found that his site got bought out by some Chinese sports betting thing. That's the current state of his site. I can't get info on Nuke Norway now, but I could bet on a Chinese sports betting site if I want to. So yeah, sorry Peter, looks like your site's gone. However, through some digging, I did find some online sources talking about what they found on Peter's website before it went down. And the guy did mention Nuke Norway Now. So here's what he said. This just might be the silliest thing of the year. Nuke Norway Now from Peter's Comics. No idea who the guy is. Looks like he sells snake oils and Hello Kitty vibrators at fairs in southern Sweden. No idea how the game plays, but it must be fun. Or at least worth trying to sell in Norway. It is handmade and has a SS Zombie expansion coming soon. Because the site is dead, my main source of information for this game was the Board Game Geek page about Nuke Norway Now. And rather than just reading the information off the page, I have decided to give the information through a sponsorship. This video is sponsored by Nuke Norway Now, which features over 200 units you can use to nuke Norway or steamroll the Swedes, while listening to Henrik Svensson's soundtrack designed specifically for the game.
Nuke Norway Now, the soundtrack. We can do it! March for Freedom official Nuke Norway theme by Henrik Svensson.
With over 30 beautifully designed and crafted event cards, you can twist the battle in your favor while admiring the beautiful, beautiful art on these cards. Nuke Norway Now. Play for only 125 euros. Don't judge the price. Hey, look, Peter makes a game himself for you by hand, alright? Cut the man some slack. He needs to earn a livable wage as well. Aside from all that information I dropped in my joke sponsorship segment, I don't know how this game works, I don't know how it plays, and yeah. But after doing some research online, I found out that the idea of Norway invading Sweden is kind of just like a joke idea, a sort of like joke rivalry the two have. It's not like any sort of like race-fueled hate thing. As far as I know, if I'm wrong, please tell me. I do not want to promote a game that is about hate on my channel, but from what I've seen online, people describe it as being equivalent to America wanting to invade Canada. Kind of a goofy idea like that. Or at least it's a goofy idea to most people. While this game hasn't received many updates lately, I did manage to find Peter's Steam account. Now, how do I know it's Peter's account? Well, I found a community post he made about Nuke Norway Now. It's a board game I made some years ago. I'm transferring it to Tabletop Simulator now. Check it out on Google. Board Game Geek. Nuke Norway Now. Lol, what? Land of Og. First of all, I want to say thank you to this person on the comments on my last video who suggested this game to me, and I thought it was weird enough that I would cover it. So, do you think conversations and discussions take too long in tabletop RPGs? Do you just wish they could be more streamlined and simple? Well, take a look at Land of Og. Land of Og is by Aldo Ghiazzi and was published in 2000 by Wingnut Games. In this tabletop RPG, you play as a caveman, and so does everyone else. Conversations are far more simplified and much more straight to the point because you only know 18 words. You, me, rock, water, fire, stick, hairy, bang, sleep, smelly, small, big, cave, food, thing, shiny, go. And last but not least, verisimilitude. It took an embarrassing amount of takes for me to pronounce that last one. Of course, you don't know all these words at once. You're just a dumb caveman after all. How many words do you know? Well, the average caveman knows a grand total of 2 words plus a dice roll. However, if you're a more refined and elegant, intelligent and upper class caveman, you know 4 words plus a dice roll. Could I just pick verisimilitude like 3 times? Here's an example of gameplay from the rulebook. Hey, you say to your fellow players, let's jump those monkey men and get that carcass. Your game master wags a finger at you. She admonishes. Use only your words. You stand corrected. Gesturing wildly, you bellow, Food! Food! Go bang Harry! The other players nod their heads enthusiastically. Bang! Yells Krista. Bang Harry thing! Growls Jerry, refining the thought. Many of the things in this game are just normal RPG things, but caveman themed. You have classic fantasy character classes, such as Bard, Fighter, Rogue, Barbarian, and Wizard.
Testicular torsion!
But they're all caveman themed. So, the classes are now eloquent, strong, banging, learned, fast, tough, and my personal favorite, the grunting caveman. So what exactly is so special about the grunting caveman? Well, you see, every time they grunt, they have a small chance of warping reality. Are you a caveman falling off a cliff? You could grunt, and you have a chance that a strong gust of wind miraculously pushes you onto a soft pile of leaves. But the thing is, the grunts don't always work in your favor. You could be cornered by a saber-toothed tiger, and you grunt, only for 2 more tigers to pop up out of nowhere. Alright guys, it's survey time. Where do you fall on the caveman alignment chart? Hybrid RPG. A big thank you to Wendigoon for this one, because I would not have known about this game without him covering it on his conspiracy theory iceberg. If you watched my last video, played a game of normality, and found it to be way too simple, well, I have the game that's perfect for you.
Light work, no reaction. Light work, no reaction.
Okay, it's got a little kick.
Before you get started with learning how to play the game, remember to have a pair of sunglasses with you, because I am convinced if you spend too long reading this game's rules, you will actually go blind. The colors on this website are so bright and obnoxious that they just burn your retinas. Imagine what it would be like if aliens downloaded all their information into your brain at once. That's what it feels like to read the rules. There is just zero rhyme or reason in this rulebook. The writer talks for multiple paragraphs about how to mathematically explain homosexuality. There's also a bunch of abbreviations that are brought up in the rulebook that are just never brought up again, so you just don't know what they mean at all.
Rule number 96. To figure out how long it will take to write a novel or work of non-fiction at C3 or C2 DP, you can use the sole equation for serious depth, else cloning equation 23. But to calculate C2 or alternative would be or might be rule number 3. Their lower limit is at 36. C2 DP is still more oversimplification of this might be. Is solver to the low-powered meter, and their upper limit is at 49. Time it took him to write equals average of 7 lines.
Now there is a theory floating around online about this game that was also covered by Wendigoon on his video, and it's actually the reason why I want to talk about this game in the first place. Some people online believe the same rulebook that has eye-burning colors that will scar your eyes forever, followed by the writer taking a break to talk about his favorite brownie recipe, is also the same rulebook that controls reality. I'm going to bet if you can manage to read through this entire rulebook and understand it, you could become like Neo in the Matrix. That's what I will do. I am going to follow the author's brownie recipe that he randomly dropped in the middle of the rulebook. Maybe that is my first step to taking the red pill and unlocking the secrets of the Matrix. It's time to bake. First of all, apologies for the mic quality because my normal mic that I hold in my videos, well, it can't really reach far enough. Point is, no mic, just using my phone's mic to pick up my audio, but here we are. I am going to be making the brownie recipe that is found in the Hybrid RPG rulebook. Because I kind of wanted to keep the recipe a surprise, I asked my friends to help me figure out what ingredients are in the recipe before I get started. But then my friends forgot, and I want to get this video done at some point, so instead I asked ChatGPT to do it for me. I guess I'll have to trust ChatGPT's judgment on this. Let's list off the ingredients. First of all, half a box of brownie cake mix, half a box of another type of cake mix, and because it didn't specify, I just went with angel food confetti. It looked pretty nice. Then we need 1/7 of a bar of butter, softened. Do you actually have no butter? Bro, I thought you had butter. No butter? Let's see, Google, butter alternatives, vegetable oil. Well, I do have that. I guess we'll use vegetable oil instead of butter. Maybe it won't taste that good though. Hold on, let me check the back of these. Maybe they say I can use oil as well. They actually recommend oil, so that's good. I guess we'll be using oil instead. Next, we have 1/4 of a cup of water. However, apparently later in the recipe, I'm going to be given the option to replace the water with blueberry juice. And because I love blueberries, I picked up this. Now, I know it says blackberry blueberry. I couldn't find pure blueberry juice, so I went with blackberry blueberry, but like, it should be fine. Okay, 1 to 3 eggs. Right over here, we have 3 eggs. Alright, so maybe it's like, if you want a certain amount of brownies, you want a certain amount of eggs. But I just took out 3, just in case. And then lastly, 1 to 2 tablespoons of milk. Kind of running low on milk, but like, 1 to 2 tablespoons. I shouldn't need that much anyway. So let's start reading this. Since this RPG hybrid is kind of long, so as a side note, I've included a hybrid brownie cake recipe, though the hybrid part is optional. if you so basically, I guess the hybrid brownie recipe, I would use this whole thing. However, if I want to make a hybrid cake, I would mix this thing with this. However, if I want to make a hybrid blueberry cake, I'll mix these two with this plus real blueberries. But alright, let's get started. Half of this in a bowl. Let's get mixing. Alright, we have my mixing bowl here. I am going to use my tiny tripod here to record what I'm doing. Alright, half of it goes in. I'm eyeballing this, so let's go. That seems... I can't tell. I genuinely cannot tell. I'll put in a bit more for good measure. Alright, I think I'll put in a bit more. Alright, in we go. We might have like too little of the confetti cake mix now, but like, you know what? I'll just put in a bit more confetti just for good measure. In we go. Okay, so hybrid RPG guy, what do we do next? I believe we gotta... Oh my god, there's so much. What? I guess I don't need eggs. I'll put these back. Okay, so basically I can add eggs instead of blueberry juice. But if I add blueberry juice and eggs, then it'll become crunchy, apparently. I think I'll stick with the blueberry juice because I don't know, this seems kind of tasty. I picked this up about like 2 weeks ago, and like I just had it in the fridge for a while, and every time I open the fridge, I'm just like, man, that would look so good to drink, but I can't because I'm saving it for the video. But now, because I finally got around to working on this little baking thing, I can drink it. This is probably not a good practice, but I will drink the blueberry juice. That's blueberry juice. I don't know what I expected. I do not know if I have proper measuring equipment. You know, someone who's watching me right now is probably like a huge fan of baking. They love it, they do it every day. It's their hobby. They bake things for their friends, they bake things for holidays, they bake things as gifts. And they're just watching me do this. And they're probably like punching their screen and they want to strangle me so badly because they hate what I'm doing. I'm probably butchering every single practice known to baking kind. Right, 1/4 of a cup. So once again, I will eyeball this. That seems about right. So pour that in. Oh, that was kind of nasty, honestly. 1/3 cup of oil. That does not look right. Wait, did I mess up? Oh no, that is for... Oh shoot, I gotta pour like half of this because that is not right. Okay. Okay, yeah, there we go. Crisis averted. Yeah, that was not the right amount. I forgot I was using half the contents of the box. I almost poured what would be enough for the whole box, which would not have gone well at all. Man, this is what happens when you ask someone to bake a recipe written by a schizophrenic man, while a person baking the recipe has never baked in his life. Am I still on camera? This looks like it's for mixing. God, this looks like it's for mixing. Once again, someone out there is probably gonna kill me. They're gonna be like, no, that's a spoon you use to glaze the cake or something, and I'm just here using it to mix. That's a rubber spatula. Someone's probably gonna kill me for that. Just saying like, oh, this is for glazing the cake. Okay, so according to the recipe, it's supposed to look like ice cream. That's what. Like, as you keep mixing it, it should look like ice cream. It's kind of looking like ice cream. I still see bits of like cake mix. So I guess you just gotta keep mixing it. Oh wait! Okay. No, I do need eggs. Hold on. I can do this better. There we go. At least I know how to crack an egg. Because I know how to cook. But I do not know how to bake. I don't know what the egg does. Does it like make the batter more solid? Does it like make it more... I don't know. Look, I don't bake. I keep saying this, but I don't bake. I'm like so out of my comfort zone. What is this? Is it literally like that thing where like you make it fluffier by folding it over? Am I doing that right? Is that what I do? It just feels like this whole recipe, this one right here, it's just like really long explanation of these 3 paragraphs right here. Is this good enough? I genuinely do not know. Is this good enough? I just want this out here for the record. I can cook. I can cook decently. I can cook and survive. However, if you told me the only thing I could make for the rest of my life was baked goods, I would probably starve and die. So to those of you watching, I can cook. If another tabletop game mentions a recipe to be cooked, I feel like I'm fairly confident I could do it. Just not this. I should have prepared more. We shall begin the pour. I've seen this done many times in shows, in... Wait, is there still some flour on the bottom? Oh, there might be. I might need to mix this a bit more. Alright, but yeah, I've seen this done in shows, in movies, in many things, so clearly I should be able to pull this off. Oh, down it goes. Make sure it's nice and even, which it is not looking even right now. That looks chunky and lumpy. Alright, down you go, down you go, down you go, down you go. Another thing I want to mention is that I am using a toaster oven. Now, you might be saying, hey, why aren't you using the oven right there? Well, I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but that thing is full of pots and pans. I don't think I want to deal with taking them all out and putting them back in. And also, I know how to use the toaster oven better than the actual oven, which is very sad, I know. But because of that, that's what I'll be using, the toaster oven. It has a bake setting, so I should be fine, right? Okay, so in hindsight, I realized that the hybrid RPG recipe, it calls for 22 minutes of bake time. However, I looked at the box when I was recording this, and it said it needs to be baked for 33 minutes. So I should have put in 22 minutes, but I'm also thinking if I put in 22 minutes, I probably would have gotten food poisoning after. So yeah, I should have gotten food poisoning for the video, guys. Sorry about that. You see, this recipe here, a lot of people agree that the rulebook was probably written by a schizophrenic man. So it's really hard to follow already, combined with the fact that I've never baked anything in my life.
This guy's gonna burn down his house.
Yeah.
I think you're missing a crucial part. In order to accurately simulate the mental state of this poor man, you have to play League of Legends for 1 minute.
No! Okay, so we have the brownies right here. Let me take out my phone. Yeah, that looks like a brownie to me, but like... Yep, that's definitely a brownie. And then it's cut. There we go. So, let's give this stuff a taste. It's not bad. I can taste like the confetti cake. I can taste the blueberry as well. It's like a small hint of it. It's actually not bad. It's a little soft, but that might be because it's not cooled yet. I know that baking needs to cool before it's like hardened and etc. But like overall, I think I did a good job. But yeah, that was a fun experience. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you guys have any suggestions for weird tabletop games, please tell me. Let me know. If I find them weird enough, I'll cover them. And now I'm here, months into the future and not in front of a green screen. Totally not because I forgot to say goodbye and end off the video, but thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time.